We're going to zoom in on the bottom right section of the bottom right page, and we're going to add page number and magazine information. The space bar will turn the arrow tool into a little hand so that you can reposition it a little bit more accurately. And I just really want to get in there. I'm at about 200% now so that I can see that bottom section. They show the page number info and so forth going just inside the margin. I'm actually going to put it just outside of the margin because I don't want to have to adjust the text area upward at all. And I actually think it's going to look a little bit better. The margins, unlike Word, are meant truly as guides. And so very often you're going to approach them a little bit differently than you would otherwise. And I'm going to select that text area that I just added. And I chose body copy because it's the closest to what I want here. I'm going to stretch it out so that I would have room for a page number as well as my magazine name, and you're going to call your magazine your name. So whatever you want to call your, mine's going to be Alicia David Designs. And then I'm going to press the tab key and I'm going to type in my page number. And they're calling this page number 2. They're using a feature in InDesign that automatically knows what page it's on and is going to put a page number there. We're manually typing in the page number. And then I'm going to make sure that I select this and then I choose the right align. They're too close. In InDesign, when you write align something and you have a tab, it automatically pushes the item on the left side of the tab to the far left of the text area and the item on the right side of the tab to the far right side of the area. We don't have that option in here, so we're either going to have to insert manual tabs or we could use the justify option. That's going to be my, nope, that doesn't work a whole lot better. So manually, we're going to have to space this out a little bit. I inserted a couple of extra tabs to space it out. And what I'm looking for is for my text to be not quite to the center divide between the two columns, but somewhat spaced out in there. And I'm going to make sure that they're bolder than they are currently. And I will have to enlarge this text field slightly again because my 2 is kicking down with the current settings. And it means it needs to be a little bit wider also. All right, so space yours out so that you have some separation between the elements, that yours is bold enough and that its right edge pretty much aligns with the right margin. So I've used the right margin guide, even though I'm a little bit below it, to tell me how far over my page number needs to go. And I'm way away from the bleed. I don't want to be right to the page edge. So below the body copy, not quite touching it, but still using the margin guides as a rough placement indicator. And so once I've got that there, that's our last page element. That's the last design element that we need in this particular approach. I'm going to zoom back out so I can see what the overall spread looks like. And that looks the way it needs to. The left-hand graphic completely fills the left-hand page and is into the bleeds. The right hand, I've got my title, I've got the stripe with the world subway maps in it, I've got the body copy, I've got page design. I do also have a little indicator here, which was the plus mark, which was showing me that I have more text than actually fits. That is a problem in many cases because if you were sending this to a printer, your printer would freak out because there's way more text than you currently have displaying on the screen. So it is generally considered a good idea to go in and whittle away any extra text. You don't have to expand yours as I just did, which was to make the text field completely fill, but I still have extra. So if I wanted to keep trimming that down, I would have to keep going and removing it, which is, again, why you may not want to actually do it in this assignment, but just be aware that that overflow indicator is meant to help you not have a problem. And it, again, can be an issue if you were sending this to a printer and had text that you were not aware of that was beyond your document. So it's something to keep your eye out for in a larger project than this one. But even now, I still have an extra return somewhere in there, and so I'm getting the overset text indicator. Something to be cautious and aware of. Make sure that you've dealt with it as best you can, certainly in a more formal assignment we've got going on. Okay, so I'm going to call mine done, and I'm ready to turn it in. So what do? Well, you obviously want to make sure that you're saving to LucidPress, but that doesn't actually get me the document. So what you need is to go to the download link at the top of your screen, and it's going to ask you how you wish to download this. You want to download it as a PDF. That works great for us. We don't need all pages. I don't need your blank page 1. I don't want your blank page 1. So I'm going to do page range, and then I'm going to type in 2-3 because it's pages 2 and 3 that I want. I do want it as a spread, and it's then going to ask you what resolution. I want a really good copy of this, so choose print. It's going to, apparently it's a pro setting, apparently we're going to have to stick with screen, but in general, again, if we had all of our options, we would choose print because it's a better quality. Screen is what we're going to have to stick with. Color of none is asking what specific color settings you're sending it to. We can leave that alone. It's got a color profile that goes with it. We want crop marks and bleed marks, which we don't get in this version. And that's slightly annoying, so we'll have to deal without them. Standard PDF is going to be fine. Print ready or accessible we could do, but standard PDF is okay. So I'm going to proceed with the download option. Just know that it would be really nice in a perfect world if we could use a few more of those settings, and if it's something that you plan on using more than just for this class, you would probably want to do a paid one because you could get more of those options than we had available to us. All right, so this is my final version of the design. I've got the 2 pages. It's got a PDF export. It's got, the settings. I don't have my crops. I don't have my bleed visible, which is kind of strange given where my picture appears to end. But anyway, that is my finished document. And that's what you're going to submit to me.